mediation process look like, do you think?
So there needs to be a settlement. Keith and I agree on this 100%. And by the way, this case can settle. Every case feels like it cannot be settled, but this one will settle, in my opinion. I mean, there's a 99% chance to settle.
B-list actress Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, are not going to be pleased when they find this out. As I had previously speculated and told you all, Justin Baldoni is not paying his legal bills.
So there's a legal fight inside the legal fight between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, and it's all about what information should stay private in this case. And honestly, this is why people settle. Lively's team wants a protective order with an attorney's eyes only designation, meaning certain evidence would be so restricted that not even Baldoni himself.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's prolonged legal battle seems to be drawing to a close, with reports indicating that the two are finally poised to settle their court case. The dispute, which has garnered significant media attention, has been the subject of much speculation among fans and industry insiders. While the specifics of the case remain mostly under wraps, the anticipated resolution has sparked conversations about the potential financial and professional impacts for both stars. Many are now questioning whether this settlement will signal the end of a contentious legal saga, or if further twists are still in store.
What Blake needs to do, in my opinion, if she would call me and ask me, I'd give her the same advice, and that is, you need to fall on your sword. You need to ask for forgiveness of Baldoni. You need to come up with some number that you're going to write a check out to him behind the scenes that nobody knows about. And then you need to come out publicly with no excuses and say, look, I was wrong. I overstated some things. Don't blame, I was going through a tough time. Just accept it. The American people are so forgiving. They will forgive her. The people that are paying attention to this will forgive her if she truly apologizes and takes responsibility for what.
According to a Daily Mail article, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are reportedly feeling worn out by their ongoing legal battle with Justin Baldoni. The intense fight has not only drained their finances, but also impacted their mental well-being. Sources suggest the couple is eager to settle the case, hoping to avoid the stress of a prolonged court battle, especially with the trial date fast approaching.
And Ryan Reynolds getting close to settling. Interesting story popped up out of the Daily Mail yesterday that basically says that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are already exhausted by this lawsuit and experiencing mental anguish. Very interesting. Now, Daily Mail did in fact try and get in touch with their reps to see if this was in fact true, but a source close to them is revealing that the actress is really pushing to get this all buttoned up. And in fact, she saw the Monday court date that they had where the judge issued a warning to Baldoni's legal team that essentially was like, both parties are not allowed to litigate this in public. They're not allowed to continue the barrage. No gag order, but just a warning, not allowed to continue the barrage of information because they could potentially taint the jury pool if in fact this goes to trial in March of 2026.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are a powerhouse Hollywood couple with a billion-dollar brand built through films, endorsements, and business ventures. A prolonged legal battle could jeopardize their carefully cultivated public image and impact future opportunities. Lawyers note that past controversies, such as the tragic death of a stunt person during the filming of Deadpool 2, are resurfacing, adding to the negative press. This case brings unwanted scrutiny, which could damage their credibility and business relationships. By settling, Blake has the opportunity to control the narrative, minimize reputational harm, and move forward without long-term repercussions.
That could be had here. But trying to talk Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds into settling right now, that's probably their lawyers are having a difficult time with that.
However, with billionaire Steve Sarowitz backing Baldoni's legal defense and refusing to settle, it remains unclear whether a resolution will be reached or if the dispute will ultimately go to trial. Despite the ongoing lawsuit, Sarowitz remains unfazed. An independent source confirms that he is personally covering all legal expenses, reportedly telling his team to spare no cost and refusing to be pressured into settling. With a trial date now set for March 2026, this case is far from over. While Reynolds has significant wealth, Sarowitz's fortune surpasses his, creating a financial strain that could put pressure on Lively and Reynolds. This adds an intriguing twist to the high-profile showdown.
Yeah, you know, I see all of the pain coming out. Today, they revealed in Deadpool 2, a stunt person was killed, and you get these stories that mean nothing to the case, but it's terrible PR, especially when you're really a billion-dollar brand like Reynolds.
Lively has subpoenaed phone and internet records from Justin Baldoni and his associates, seeking evidence of an alleged smear campaign against her. Her legal team is requesting records from service providers like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Cloudflare, and AOL, covering the past 2.5 years. These records are intended to bolster her claims of retaliation following her allegations of misconduct during the filming of It Ends With Us. Baldoni's legal team has criticized the subpoenas, calling them overly broad and a fishing expedition.
One of the co-founders of Wayfarer, his production company, is Steve Sorowitz. And there's no sorrow with him because Steve Sorowitz is a billionaire. And my 2 independent sources have confirmed that since Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are suing his production company, his billionaire friend and co-founder is fronting all of the legal bills. And Steve has said, spare no expense. We are not going to be intimidated.
Blake Lively's legal team has subpoenaed phone records from Justin Baldoni and his associates, seeking evidence of a smear campaign against her. The legal team has requested to subpoena not only Justin Baldoni's phone, but also devices from 5 or 6 other individuals involved in the case.
No Teeth Lively is ready to move forward with her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, but first, she needs evidence, and she wants Justin Baldoni to give it to her, in more ways than one, allegedly. So part of what Blake Lively needs to prove that this alleged smear campaign went down is actual evidence, right? So her legal team plans to subpoena the phone records of Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Melissa Nathan, Jennifer Abel, Jed Wallace, all of them, even Steve Sorowitz, which in a discovery process is fairly standard, right? Despite the fact that the New York Times claimed that they had thousands of pages that were handed over by Blake's team in order to confirm the details to publish in the New York Times, right? Except she wants to subpoena all of their phone records, including locations, text message, regardless of the recipient, regardless of the subject matter, dating back to...
They sought access, not only to text messages related to the lawsuit, but also to all personal messages, internet searches, and browser history from the past 2.5 years.
It was announced that Blake Lively's team had asked to subpoena Justin Baldoni's phone, meaning, and not only Justin Baldoni, the entire team that they had sued, meaning like 5 or 6 people, and they want not only to look at text messages in regards to the case, but in regards to everything.
And they want to go back 2.5 years.
Yes, with even their internet browser history, so they can see whatever they Google. I mean, if they do that to anyone's phone, you're going to find stuff that are suspicious, don't you think? I mean, you Google many weird things. I think for them to ask to have access to Justin Baldoni's text to his wife, I mean, isn't that outrageous?
It sounds like an overreach, yeah.
Yeah. Or like Justin Baldoni's lawyer called it, a fishing expedition, which is a word used on purpose, I think, because that's a word that judges don't really like. And this is, like he also pointed out, this is not a criminal case, and Blake is not the FBI. This is a civil case. So I think asking for this, do you think they're going to get it through from the judge?
Not altogether, but, you know, it is you can do it in defamation cases.
Yeah, but I think limited in...
This request covers not just call logs, but also text messages, internet search histories, and browser data. The subpoenas extend to several individuals associated with Baldoni, aiming to uncover evidence that supports Lively's claims of a coordinated smear campaign against her.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, my besties. Do you think that Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively had anything to do with it?
This is what Justin Baldoni's team is saying, right? They're saying that Ryan Reynolds pressured WME to fire Baldoni.
Yeah.
And of course, that has been denied by WME. But why then did they fire Baldoni? There are more quotes though out there, and he's saying that I am the man that did it. What did he say? I'm a ride or die guy.
Yeah.
So he takes credit for firing him, and then he's making fun of his last name by calling him Bologna or something like that.
Yeah, Baldoni.
Baldoni, and then he corrects himself and says Baldoni.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, and that's someone they represented.
However, Baldoni's attorney, Brian Fredman, has strongly denied the claims that his client sought to tarnish Blake Lively's reputation. He argues that the allegations are part of a vicious attack orchestrated by Lively's team involving media manipulation and the selective presentation of evidence. Fredman insists that Baldoni's crisis management team followed standard industry practices, engaging only in hypothetical scenario planning rather than any deliberate attempt to discredit Lively. He maintains that the accusations against Baldoni are entirely false and vows to present evidence proving his client's innocence.
Flowing in the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively case involving Taylor Swift and Brian Friedman and all the characters that are involved. And the cross-fighting here in the legal documents, Justin responds to subpoena, say, hey, this is a massive fishing expedition. It goes back and forth, and that's where we land on the actual documents that we're about to share with you. Umbrella Guy, friend of the program, says Blake Lively wants 2.5 years of Justin Baldoni, calls, texts, real-time location. Watch. It's all because she's attempting further character assassination since her Me Too claims didn't end him. Now, as we know, she claims he harassed her, SH, right? And that's really the big story. But she's also going to claim that he was part of a smear campaign. He's going to argue that was in retaliation. We were just planning a retaliation if you were going to come.
On February 14th, Baldoni's attorneys responded to Lively's subpoenas, criticizing them as overly broad and invasive. They argue that the demand for extensive personal data not only violates Baldoni's privacy, but also infringes on the privacy of those connected to him. Baldoni's legal team contends that the requests amount to a massive fishing expedition, viewing them as more of a media strategy than a legitimate legal necessity.
Single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipts.
Justin Baldoni is firing back after Blake Lively filed a lawsuit against the actor, accusing him of unprofessional and sexually inappropriate behavior on the set of It Ends With Us. She also accused him of coordinating a smear campaign.
Was there a coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Baldoni is now suing the New York Times after the paper published a story about Lively's allegations.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
Baldoni claims that the text messages in Lively's lawsuit were taken out of context or excluded. The New York Times said in a statement that they stand by their reporting and plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. Lively said previously that she hopes her suit helps pull back the curtain on these sinister retaliatory tactics to harm people who speak up about misconduct.
It turns out that Blake Lively was caught on tape talking about how she manipulates people around her in order to take control of the movies upon which she works. Oops!
I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say, but I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing and the costume design and creating the character. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled.
Oh my God. And then she did exactly that to Justin Baldoni, apparently. If you want to write your own script, you should go write your own script. If you want to sign on to a movie with the understanding that you're going to actually make script changes, then great. But if the idea is that you sign on as an actor and then you turn around and try to take control of the script,
In response, Justin Baldoni has filed a 79-page lawsuit against Blake Lively, seeking $400 million in damages. The lawsuit claims that Lively, using her celebrity status, has launched a campaign to destroy Baldoni's career and reputation. Baldoni asserts that Lively's actions amount to defamation and civil extortion, accusing her of using her influence to coerce him into meeting her demands.
Hard to overstate how broad invasive and atypical these subpoenas truly are. And by the way, the judge will know. I mean, a layman like me, I don't really know what's going on, but a judge will know, hey, this is too much. They are asking for too much, and we'll have to see. This is civil litigation, not a criminal prosecution, and the lively parties are not the FBI. Yet the subpoenas seek not only the complete call and text history of each of the targets over a period of several years, no matter the sender, recipient, or subject matter, but also over the same period, real-time location information and data logs reflecting, among other things, web browsing history. This would include, of course, materials protected from disclosure by a laundry list of statutes and privileges, among them the attorney-client privilege, the spousal privilege, and the physician-patient privilege. Moreover, the information sought by the subpoenas is wildly disproportionate to the needs of the case and unnecessarily invades the privacy of untold members of third parties, including family, friends, business partners, and quite literally any other person with whom any of the targets have communicated with over a period of years. And the real bottom line is we're going to find out what kind of porn people are searching. That's what we're going to find out. Oh, why are you watching the Barcelona track and field competition on YouTube? Why are you watching pole vaulting? Well, I got a thing for pole vaulters. It's the, whatever. You're going to find out a lot of information. The lively part, I don't have a thing for pole vaulters. I just use that as an example. I don't want any pole vaulters to come after me. The lively part, male or female, as we saw this past year.